It's one of our goals here on the Urban Evolution to introduce you to some of the city's most interesting people, which is why on this edition of the Artist Evolution, we have not one, but two of Trenton's most interesting artists for you to enjoy. Meet Rein Triefeldt, an environmental solar kinetic artist, and his wife, Laurie, a successful visual artist and writer.
And I began in advertising and made the move. A job opening came up as an artist in editorial, and I took it. Even though I had begun as an artist and an illustrator and a graphic person, before you know it, as your career progresses, they're asking you to write your graphics and your pages.
When Laurie and Rein moved to Trenton 22 years ago, her experience in journalism landed her jobs at several newspapers around New Jersey. In 1999, she began work as a graphic journalist for the Star-Ledger. In 2005, it was there that she helped them earn a Pulitzer Prize.
The Pulitzer was for breaking news for when Governor McGreevey resigned due to his being gay. And that is what we covered, and we covered it very well, and that's why we received the Pulitzer.
Despite all of her success in journalism, strangely enough, Laurie's proudest work does not involve news.
The books began as a newspaper feature called World of Wonder. At first, friends would call it World of Blunder because it wasn't doing very well, and I was working really hard on it, but it wasn't selling. I didn't have a lot of newspapers buying it. But that all changed when I came back to New Jersey, and I was picked up by a syndicate. So today, the World of Wonder newspaper series runs in more than 100 newspapers around the world, really.
I have a granddaughter who's 9. One of the things she loves to do when she comes over is we'll open up World of Wonder or People and Places, and it's kind of harks back to when I was a kid. I would lie on the floor and read World Book Encyclopedia. It always reminds me of that.
I also won a Reuben Award, which is awarded from the National Cartoonist Society, and it's a really big deal. For me to be told I was the very best illustrator in all of Canada and the United States and awarded by the National Cartoonist Society was a huge, huge thing for me.
Now, we flash back a couple of decades to the University of Windsor at Ontario. While taking a course in sculpture, Laurie met Rein Triefeldt, a teacher's assistant who she would eventually marry. While in college, Rein discovered a love for kinetic art, which is a type of visual art that involves any type of physical motion.
Rein is a sculptor who makes things that move. They turn, they respond to wind or movement.
Throughout his career, Rein has had his work featured through an array of clients and exhibits including the 1996 Olympic Games, Cirque du Soleil, the Franklin Institute, and Princeton University. In 2000, while teaching sculpture at the College of New Jersey, Rein became inspired to add a new, important, environmental aspect to his work.
They didn't really have much of a facility for sculpture there, so I started to gravitate towards the engineering labs because they had all the machines that I like to use. There was this professor there named Dr. Norm Asper, and he was the guy that was in charge of, they would have a solar project every year, so it would be a solar boat or a solar car. And I walked up to Dr. Asper one afternoon and kind of, said, I think it would be cool to make a solar kinetic sculpture. What do you think? And he looks at me and he gives gray hair, long gray hair and a beard, and just looks at me and he goes, that would be very cool. Come with me. But what ended up happening is I very quickly figured out what was going on, and I constructed Solar One here.
Rein's interest in combining solar energy with kinetic sculpture led him to create his current project, the Solar Tree.
How this project came about was Angela Ping, their teacher, just contacted me through email, and her email just read, hi, I'm a enriched science and math teacher in Hillsborough, California, and would like to incorporate kinetic art into my curriculum. So then we started a dialogue, and one day I blurted out, or we could build a solar tree as a project to do with the kids.
One of the things I think art can do is get people to be aware of issues, and sometimes it happens in a sneaky way. It's not like Al Gore or an expert on the environment talking at you saying, you should change your light bulbs, or you should change your lifestyle. What artists can do, and I think what Rein's able to do with his solar sculpture, it's more poetic.
A sculpture like the solar tree could be grid connected and actually provide energy for 1 or 2 homes.
Rein and LaurieTriefeldt are 2 examples of the great but often overlooked Trenton art community. Ideally, your desire to see more combined with Artist Evolution's desire to shine the spotlight on these underappreciated talents will put them to the forefront where they belong.